we are coming down to that stretch of the season. Friday, is it a must-win match for Phoenix Rising as they take on Monterey Bay? Find out tonight.
Oh, he's doing the singing again. Oh no.
It's actually humming for
it's
being real. Hello,
You're
hello.
not very musical, Mr. Simpson.
Welcome into the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us here on a Wednesday. Not Thursday, it is a Wednesday. We got the Phoenix Rising versus Monterey Bay preview tonight. Ahead of Friday's match. But of course, got to introduce folks. I am Max Simpson. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, looking a little gray himself, Owain, the Oracle, Evans, and to my
dodgy
right.
lighting in here,
to my,
No
that's what they all
excuses,
say. Yeah. And Mr. No Excuses to my right, on your left as you're watching, Mr. Stat Lackey himself, Reese Goodall. Gentlemen, how are we?
Well, Tottenham lose tomorrow,
Okay,
so
that's all right.
I'm excited for
That's
that.
true, that. Yeah,
Let's,
I mean...
no, we cannot get... Listen, if we're going to get sidetracked, we can't just do it in the first 45
No, you're
seconds.
right, you're right. But here's what first major discussion topic. Is Harry Kane a fraud?
Oh, we've known this since,
I mean,
I agree, he's not
November
the first player.
2022.
I mean, he's, again, showing this by the fact that they lost to Villa today, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, there you
Neuer
go.
disaster.
Very
for us.
fraudulent. But yes, leave a like on your way in here. We got producer Kyle in the mix as well. Not even with the updated leave a like. He's going with the old one. Kyle, where's the new one? You took the time to clip it.
I'm saving it for the perfect occasion.
Okay, you know
Okay.
what? I do
I like
appreciate
that.
that. Well, let's hope that perfect occasion is Phoenix Rising taking all 3 points on Friday against Monterey Bay. Reese, you sound a little hesitant, perhaps.
We're all hesitant.
We're all
Yeah.
hesitant.
Yeah.
If you watch this, this season,
Oh,
Max.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for sure. But hey, I appreciate everyone joining us as the hop on in here. We got Siles and L in the chat. Y'all are great.
the ex-Spurs butler Harry Kane, indeed. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
That's true.
Villa didn't do much to this. That's cool.
They won. Well, they won.
Well, I know, but
They
just-
won in the
I
tournament
would-
that you're not in.
Yeah, well,
Max,
we did
right?
not. We will not lose any Champions League matches this season. So, haha, there we go.
Hanging
Let's-
out in the rafters. There.
Nice.
Hanging out in the rafters. Let's
Yeah.
go. Got it. Oh, there we go, Kyle. Leave a like. Boom. All right. Well, listen.
Why do you look like you're at a political rally there, Max? Like, I'm sorry, that looks like someone who's about to express some very strong opinions that are probably going to get himself or should get himself in some hot water.
I have already gotten myself into plenty of hot water thanks to you guys in this podcast without even needing to go into politics. So there you go.
Yeah, Max Simpson. I think you know what? Are we doing Max as a politician now?
We are not going down this route. We
No,
are not. No.
He's
We are
kind of got that politician spin the
We cannot get
story.
sidetracked.
Oh, that's true. That's
we
true.
cannot get sidetracked.
Oh, we can.
I didn't even hear what you said, and I will probably come back to this later, and you're gonna get it. But no,
I mean, see, now he's threatening people. Like, this is a real, like, yeah, Max has already got his first bullying scandal. He's practically a politician already.
we're done talking about politics. Okay, let's take a look from Phoenix Rising's perspective, as we so often do on here, right? Again, as a bit of a peek behind the curtain as we get into Monterey Bay. Phoenix Rising, not an informed team. They're not the worst one in this matchup. So that's the one thing they do have going for them, right? But you look at these last couple matches, right? 2 losses in a row. We thought they had a little bit of mix going on from, hey, they were on a 4-match unbeaten streak for a bit. Things are going well. Kind of start and stop with really in these last 2 matches, as we detailed on Monday during the review of the Las Vegas Lights match. This is a team where they are crying out for goals. And guys, I just don't know where it's coming from. We've been saying the same thing every week, and I don't know if there's a clear solution this week either.
No, there won't be. I mean, I don't want to get it out this. I mean, someone has to say it.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any
Welcome to
change.
the gallows humor.
Yeah. unless they bring in Holland, nothing's gonna change. I mean, on how
Would Holland score on
I feel like
I don't think they passed to him.
that's true. That's true. But he just needs one touch in the box and he'll score. But on how I'm hoping for a bet. If he does play, I'm hoping for a better performance from him. But I just cannot see it happening based off how his form's been through his opening 8 matches.
Yeah. It's been. I mean, you look at the team at large, right? And again, they create half chances, but they don't always create enough. And especially against a good, stout defensive team. I say good, that's very loose. But they are a bit stout defensive, and we'll get into that later on. It's going to be difficult, right? From Phoenix Rising's perspective, I think a lot of this also has to come down to, I think, getting the game plan right. We've obviously drawn, I think, no shortage of attention around that as we look at the previous week. We feel as though they got the game plans wrong going into games against teams that, quite frankly, this team probably needed to look at getting wins against. The fact that they now go into this game, and I think beyond anything, I'm going to put it real here, anything less than a win, I think you could... I'm almost ready to call it at that point that this team will probably drop below the playoff line, I think, if they don't win this weekend. Now, obviously, that is also subject to if other results go the right way or wrong way or whatever may happen. Because for all you know, maybe Tulsa end up dropping points that they shouldn't be dropping this weekend as well. Maybe Orange County, this isn't one of the ones I think we had circled as one we expected them to win, right? But... maybe things don't go well there, right? It just
well, and you know,
nervous laugh from
we do. It is a nervous laugh. We do have we even will kind of go through a doomsday chaos scenario from a playoff picture a little bit later in the pod, and that'll really stir up some fun.
Don't lie, they're not playing really good.
Sure. But
okay.
Again, also, shout out. I mean. Right, Calvin in the chat. Grew up in Phoenix. Remember going to Phoenix Inferno games as a kid. Not been following Rising. How are they doing? Not good. Not good.
They may make the playoffs this year, but again, this is a league where 2/3 of the teams make the playoffs.
That is the minimum.
Do you have a pulse?
Do you have a pulse? Daniel Bear in the chat. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Right? I mean, listen, guys. I do want to ask this because here's the thing. We talked a bit about it a lot on Monday of this club, and you guys saw it, right? Did not deserve necessarily the win on last weekend against Vegas. And guess what? They didn't happen to win. My question is this. Giving up those 2 goals so late, combined with their overall performance, do we expect this team, are they going to come out guns blazing, front foot, really trying to kind of get after this? Or do you think that the loss in that way are going to make them a bit tentative?
To me, they need to come out on the front foot, try and get a goal early, which is something I thought they should have done versus Vegas, come out on the front foot. I think if Rising can get a goal, the way this Monterey Bay team is playing at the moment, they don't look great on the attack. They're the 23rd best attack in the league at the moment. So you get a goal early. Rising's defense is great. I don't see Monterey Bay scoring to level. I think it's going to be a boring match. It's going to be 1 goal at most in this game, in my opinion.
I can see that being the case, yeah. Again, the issue that you have, I think, if you're Phoenix Rising FC going into this game is that you are coming off of, I think, a really weirdly emotional kind of week, right? Whereby you took that step forward, and I think a lot of people are feeling really, really good after that 4-0 win, and the way that you fall off in those second 2 games, and especially the way that it ends in the end on Saturday against Las Vegas Lights, the way that they concede those 2 goals so late. I mean, look, on the one hand, was it somewhat predictable? Yes, probably. They didn't really come out, I think, with enough intention in the attack. They didn't come out in a manner that was likely to find, I think, the second goal. Yes, earlier today in chatting with Diego Gómez, he brought up the fact that, players were tired, right? Remy's okay, but he's not necessarily, he was struggling with cramp at the time. Tomás had played a lot of minutes that week and realistically needed to come off, right? And those are understandable things. But again, you end up leaving Darius Formella on the bench, you bring Juan Carlos Azacar on. Those aren't things that are showing, I think, the intent to go out and win a game in that moment, right? It was really, really defensive. And once you concede that first goal, the second goal, you kind of know they're going to be knocking on the door. They're probably going to get at least 1 good chance at the end to knock something in the back of the net. But hey, it's... It's a weird one to me, I think, coming off of that kind of an emotional roller coaster of a week, knowing what happened after the game, knowing just the way that I think things have been around this club in general for an entire season. It's been a long slog this year. It's been ups and downs and lefts and rights. And just, again, I said a roller coaster a couple of minutes ago. Yeah. It's been a roller coaster, an absolute roller coaster of a season. And you're now coming up in must-win territory at the end of the year, and it feels as though there is a very real risk that this team may not rise to the occasion. They haven't risen to the occasion in certain other big games this year, and now you're getting to a point whereby it's probably the time to do it, or accept that you very, very much might be going to not feature in the postseason.
I mean, listen, it's been a roller coaster, but if Phoenix Rising wants to keep rising that roller coaster, they might find that they're just, like too short to, be below that line. If you must be this tall,
I was going to put it more like the season kind of feels like you're going up the roller. When you're going up for the big drop, you had a good time, and then it's the final big drop, and it just stops at the top, and now you're waiting for like 2 hours for people to come rescue you from the top of the
or the worst, you're about to climb to the top, and that's one of those where it goes right back below, and you're like, but yeah, I mean, listen, we're there's a lot of different emotions with this
Max
season.
is a big roller coaster guy.
They're not bad. They're not bad. It depends on the roller coaster, but also shout out, of course, everyone watching. We are, of course, in Studio K, presented by Circle K. We love our friends at Circle K, but yes, also everyone in here, right? Got Mike in here. Will Louisville have anything to play for in that last game? There'll be a top seed. They'll have the top seed locked up and probably rest players. It's very possible. I mean, here's the thing. We don't want to get to that point, and I think so much of it, right?
I'd also say that Louisville's backups are very good as well.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's right. It's kind of playing that, as we kind of mentioned a bit on Monday, kind of that whole balance of, are you really wanting to rest guys that much? Maybe you do for the couple of weeks after, but then you play them in the last game, just give them a tune-up. You don't want to go there, right? I mean, Calvin asking the good questions, and right, everyone in the chat, we appreciate you guys. We banter FC, absolutely. Listen, guys, if Rising is going to need to come out on the front foot, which I agree they should, and hopefully that they're not tentative coming off of this loss, right? We have seen them. There have been a few quick starts here and there, but this has mainly been a second half team. So if they're going to come out at a hot start, number one, got to see what that looks like. But number two, who do we think is going to figure into the lineup on this one, right? We saw both Tomás Ángel and Remy Cabral in there. We saw a couple other configurations throughout the week. Who do we like to feature heavily within this match?
All right, so just I'll give you a bit of injury update before we really get into it. On players that we'd anticipate could be in or out, right? So Fede Varela is expected to, he's making good progress. Outside of that, Emmy probably waiting to see what he's like tomorrow to get an idea if he's going to be okay to go on Friday. From my perspective, when I listen to that, tells me probably that the guy's more likely to be on the bench if he is available rather than starting. So I don't know. We'll see on that one. But there's that little bit. Remy Cabral completely fine. No concerns on that one.
Okay.
All right. So Reese, I'm going to let you kick this one off.
I mean, I feel like I'm the second biggest Jearl Margaritha stan in the world. I need to see Jearl in there.
After Curaçaon Football News on Twitter.
Is that who you think's first?
I mean, who is first?
Kevin from Rising Radio. He's a big Jearl Margaritha guy.
Okay.
He is. I did see it.
He is. I can believe that.
So Jearl, and then
he's been their best player.
He has been.
Certainly in the last
week. Which is why it's, of course,
yes,
amusing that he's now gone next week, right? Yeah, there we go. What a great time. So is Darius Johnson, by the way, both called up for international duty. But yeah, Jearl Margaritha, huge part, I think, in this game. If you can find ways to again get him, I think, get the right runs from people around him, find ways to feed him the ball in the right moments, I think you can have a lot of success with that. And again, we've seen that in individual games so far. We've seen that in matches where they've found ways to play through him in a way that's just opens up different options, especially knowing that they like to be that little bit more direct than they have been earlier in the season and last year as well. Right? Jearl Margaritha is a huge, huge part of that, and I think will be through the remainder of the year.
Yeah. So I'm also curious, right? Who do we think is going to feature within the midfield? I know we've seen, right, midweek, Jose Andres Hernandez starting. We then saw excuse me, we've seen some rotations in the midfield. I'm curious, right, who we end up going with, especially knowing, right, that's been a position of consternation. I think what we keep on saying as well is whoever is alongside Renzo Zambrano, that's really how you're going to dictate how he plays as well. Are you going to get the more progressive Renzo Zambrano, or are you going to get one who's a little bit more defensive, who is a bit that side-to-side passing?
I'd imagine you play the quote-unquote first choice 11 in this game of Charlie Dennis alongside Renzo Zambrano. The question for me then becomes what you do further up the field as well, right? Is Tomás Ángel going to still be in there? Is he going to
number 10
play as a number 10 or so?
You're not convinced.
Do you look at Julio Dorotioto coming back in? I know that's something, Reese, we discussed after the game, and I know it's something that some people will also probably want to see again. Right? Tomás Ángel, that's something that came up. I brought it up in the press conference today and was talking about it, and it was what Diego was saying is, there were things that, that he sees that are good other than the goals.
I don't disagree.
But again, I pressed him a little bit on, would you consider dropping him? And he said, everyone has to earn their place here, which to an extent, almost every coach is always going to say that. Yeah. But I mean, now it's really on the team, I think, to consider over these next 2-3 games realistically. Do they mean to stand by that kind of a statement? Or if they don't, what kind of a message does that send to other players on the team?
Yeah, I seen Munja in the chat. Julio is a starting 11 player. I mean, right? I mean, I even recall, right? You suggesting it in the post game. It's not the wildest thing of even just from a confidence standpoint, him coming off the bench could mix up things a bit and could maybe give him some sort of that relief of the burden does not have to fall on you. It's going to inevitably will, but right, like I think that's something where if you've been doing something and it hasn't been working and you haven't seen a lot of those signs, yeah, man. I mean, I guess if you play 100 matches, you're bound to score one, but I guess you just don't have that time. You got to do what's best for the team, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked to see Remy Cabral back into the starting 11, but with Julio as that 10-ish role more in that midfield, because I liked what Angel brought on the weekend against Vegas, but to me, it just felt like Julio's better on the ball, which is Angel's off-ball movement is excellent, but he's just when he's on the ball, he struggles to take shots, struggles to really move the ball. And the thing I talked about on Monday is that Remy Cabral and Tomás Ángel completed one pass between each other, and it was in the 10th minute, and it was about a 4-yard pass. That was all the service between the two for, the 64 minutes that they played together, a 9th-minute pass. And I think Julio can offer something much more than that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where even, Tomás Ángel, his movement off the ball is really good, but also everyone's going to, especially the number 10 role, you're going to want the ball at your feet. I think especially even more so coming from traditionally more or less that number 9 position, then shifting back to 10. It's not as straightforward as it might seem. I mean, listen, the one thing that we also need to add, and you were able to catch up with in rising interim head coach Diego Gómez, is there is news on a player who, unfortunately just has not been around the squad much at all this season.
Yeah, let's get the update on John Stenberg.
John right now is recovering in Sweden. He's working with a doctor and a recovery person over there. Also, he felt he needed the support of his family and to be in a place where we can clear his mind. So we allowed him to go to Sweden for a period of time to recover over there.
So at this point, are we at a point yet where you draw a line under realistically him coming back here this season?
It's as I said before, it's a situation that is complicated under terms of the injury that he has, and it's something that he has been dealing with during the whole season. And at this point, we are taking it week by week and see how he's feeling and how he's progressing. Obviously, the season is coming to an end very very quick, and as more time happens, more difficult it is for him to recover and be back ready to play.
Now, I'll hop in here. I know you're about to there, Max. What I'll say as well, just to add on there, I know Diego is not saying outright that you're not going to see John Stenberg this season, but it doesn't take a genius to work out that there's very much time left in this season. I will also point out that indications from around the club seem to be leaning towards the fact that he is incredibly unlikely
Yeah.
to be seen here in Phoenix again this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's played so little this season, and I think I'll put it this way: this is no disrespect at all to John Stenberg, heck of a player. He was the second half MVP for this club, and in my opinion, last season, probably multiple people's opinions. Lest we forget,
It was realistically, it was him and Panos Samanakis at the end of last year who changed that team's
absolutely,
fortunes around.
absolutely. Lest we forget, he scored the equalizing goal in the 2023 USL Championship final. I mean, what he has done for this club, it goes without saying. But it's also a very tough point where you're named captain this season. You have been out for so long. And if you are looking for him to play any sort of minutes and quote unquote save your season or anything like that, I just don't think that's the position you want to be in. I'm not proposing that is the case, but this defense has been playing decent overall. I mean, yes, you certainly lose the leadership a bit, unfortunately, but I mean, hey, they've coped long enough for this. I think this isn't like a point where, he's played half the season, now he's gone. They've already adjusted, whether they like it or not, to not having him in there.
Right, now we're going to go to an ad break shortly. Before we do, I just need to bring this up because, Max, did you just witness the fact that, we spoke on the Monday pod about how I had that ad pop up during the show on my thing, advertising Phoenix Rising tickets for the Las Vegas Lights game.
Yes.
You know what I just had pop up on my screen?
Don't say it again.
It adds for Phoenix Rising versus Las Vegas Lights on September 28th.
That already happened.
That already happened. It's happening again.
Oh, boy.
But Max, it's time for your favorite part of the show again, my man.
Oh, dear gosh. Well, he's
It's Super Bowl.
It is my Super Bowl. It's my Champions League final, in which case Spurs have a trophy. But yes,
no, they do not. Finals.
On the other side of the break, we will take a look from everything on the Monterey Bay perspective. Oh, yes. But first, got to tell you guys about my friends over at Branded Bills. Ooh, we got the nice music. Here we go. Branded Bills are right behind me, and you could be wearing the what's it called? It's right above me, the ASU hat, or you could be wearing. I'm not gonna even try that U of A hat. We got the ASU hats.
I thought you were a Tucson guy, Max.
Well, I am from Tucson, but I chose ASU Go Devils.
Smart.
We got ASU and we got U of A. They have so many hats.
Chose civilization.
Here's the thing as well. By the way, we got people in the chat. Kyle, you actually scroll up just a tidbit, please, because Calvin is in Oregon. He's living in Oregon right now. Calvin, you can even go to brandonbills.com, use promo code PHNX. You save 20% off your first order. And here's the thing, not only do they ship to Oregon, they even have the Oregon state flags on their hats, tons of styles you can choose from. They got same thing for Arizona state flag hats, all these different things. Again, go to brandonbills.com, promo code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Great, comfortable hats. Producer Kyle is wearing one right now. Yeah, he is, baby. And also check out our friends over at Circle K. We, of course, we're in Studio K, presented by Circle K. It's just an absolutely great place to be, right? Whether you're in the Valley, whether you're in Tucson, no matter where you are at, go to Circle K all throughout the state, all throughout the country, man. They got Polar Pops, save 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. I mean, right? They give you nice free water and ice inside my 100-ounce. There's in here, but
we can stop stealing the office water instead. Then,
well, there we go. But what can I say? I'm a hydrated man. Circle K will keep you hydrated with their Polar Pops. Check them out everywhere. Again, join their Inner Circle program. All you need to do is download the Circle K app, opt in with your phone number, and they're going to give you a bunch of free stuff. Super easy to do. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations. And listen, be on the lookout right after the break because we're going to have producer Kyle do the snack toss.
Are we doing this now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he wants to do the snack
Kyle,
toss.
we're doing stuff. Why don't you? We need to. What kind of snack is he throwing me, guys? By the way,
What do you want, man?
This is not just
What do you want?
It's not just a little snacky.
Yeah.
Little snacky
For
food.
what one?
I mean, something that hopefully will. Yeah, worm. There
Sour
we go.
worms.
There we go. Let's see, but yeah, Calvin, just looking at the record, about at 500, lots of 0-0 games, assuming offense isn't there.
That's an understatement.
Calvin, you are correct. That is an
This
understatement.
is so much more
That
crowded
is-
than usual, right?
Oh, we'll be fine. I got you. Here we go.
Should I block it?
Oh, with the adjustment.
Yeah. I wish I just swatted that out of the air.
You should have.
I know.
block
Next
it.
time. Next time.
No, you don't have to reach.
I could have.
All right, let's see. Let's see. Fat Kid already dropping the prediction in there. We will get to that. That is a great nickname, by the way. Yes. Ben News Bluebird also pointing out the Panos is later this month.
That is true.
Absolutely. Listen, there's a lot to get to, but we're not trying to get ahead of things. Let's look at this from the Monterey Bay perspective, right? We kind of teased it off the top that Phoenix Rising is not in great form. There is a silver lining. At least they're not Monterey Bay. Bay season date. They are 11th in the West. Again, that's on
remember when they were good?
That's on a 12 club.
Like earlier this season, they were good.
That's exactly it. 11th in the West, 7 wins, 9 draws, 14 losses. You do mention their hot start. 4 of their 7 wins came in their first 2 months. They did beat Phoenix Rising 1-0. We will have more on that in a little bit. But here's the thing. Not a great run of form. No wins since July 6th. Again, July 6th. Folks, we are in October. That is almost 3 months. 0 wins. They have 24 goals scored on the season, 38 goals against during their 11-match winless run. 5 draws, 6 losses, includes a 1-0 loss to the Miami FC. No mess. Oh, nice. Only team without
currently losing to Louisville.
Only team without a win in that span throughout the USL Championship. 6 goals for. It is the least in the league during their span. Here's the part that's also not good. They only have 12 XG during those 11 matches, and that's second worst in the league. So not only are they not contributing a high XG, but they're missing essentially half the chances that they should be making. So both not good. 15 goals against, tied for 11th at least in the span. So it's about more or less middle of the pack. But yeah, it's listen, it's just kind of one of those things where they don't have much offense going. Their defense is okay, I guess, by standards that you can be during a 11-match winless run. But guys, this is going to be an interesting opponent. We have seen Rising play some pretty abysmal clubs this season, and to Rising's credit, they have shown up to them.
Yeah, they have. Here's what I'll say, right? We do need to also remember that for all of this team's struggles this year, and they've changed quite a bit over the course of the year, Monterey Bay did beat them in the earlier meeting between these two sides again, right? Again, Rafa Baca, 1-0.
When was that? What date?
That was March 16th.
Oh my
god. Long time ago.
Back when we had hope. Back when we were optimistic.
I think there was a lot of negativity even back then, I'm going to be honest. Right? I remember doing a thread from Monterey after that game when people were getting quite jittery, to be honest, after 2 games. 2 games into the season.
Well, I guess more so we didn't realize what the season would become.
No, we kind of did, I think.
No, but now we're here and it's
happened. There was a risk of this. But... like, don't do this revisionist stuff, Max.
I'm not revising.
Anyway.
I'm saying the fact that even if we felt out of it and very unoptimistic then, what I'm saying is it is now played out and now we're just left with the results.
Yeah, all right. But still, anyway, given it's been a long season, they've changed quite a bit. You know, they almost made us think that we were going to eat our words about saying they were terrible at the start of the year.
Well,
when it turns out they actually are. But...
not great.
We should probably have a listen to actually, because I did ask Diego about how they've changed since that prior win for Monterey.
I think right now is a team that tries to play a little bit more than the team that we play at the beginning of the season. Maybe at the beginning of the season was a team that was very together, probably, where it was tough and they make the games tough to play against them. And now it's a team that is more in construction. Maybe they want to play a different way, and they are getting the pieces together, and they are getting the way that they play together. And I will say that's the biggest difference. It's a different identity right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a different identity. It not necessarily is a good one. And this is kind of one of those things where, you know, even if you're trying to, whether it's hyping up other players, you even hyping up another team in a way, like, listen, this team's not good. We're going to call it what it is. The defense is, again, the best part about them, and that is relatively average, middle of the pack, maybe in some regards, at least in the XG that they are allowing, a little bit better, actually, 6th best in the league over their 11-match winless run with 15.33 expected goals against. So they're not really allowing a ton of chances. Opponents are converting them again at the middle of the pack. But listen, it's one of those things where if this team is relatively one-dimensional, they don't have a lot of goals in their run. They don't have a lot of goals overall for the season. It's going to be interesting to see, right, if this is just going to be, are they going to bunker down, hope that they can stave off a draw and a 0-0? Because if it is, then this might get gross.
Yeah, but see, that whole negativity around where Monterey Bay are right now is exactly why this is such a must-win. This is a team that is struggling. If you can't pile the misery on a team like this, then how are you going to do it when you go away to New Mexico? How are you going to do it when you go away to Oakland?
You got to
and
win
you're
the
missing
easy ones.
individuals? How are you going to do it when you're home against Memphis that may well be scrapping and clawing for the slightest little bit they can get in to find themselves a home playoff game? How are you going to do it in Louisville when their backups are probably good enough to start on most playoff teams? How are you going to do it? You have to do it in this game. Now, one thing I will note here, and this is where I think it's going to be an interesting one, Christian Valesky has got to be due a goal at this point.
I mean,
the man hasn't scored in 2024.
To our stat like
in Canada or
zero goals in 4 appearances for Monterey Bay after returning with, from Halifax Wanderers in the Canadian Premier League.
And he didn't score in Canada either.
I mean, this is a guy who, he's got it in him.
I mean, he's been around USL. He's last season or in his 2 seasons with Monterey Bay prior to this, he scored 18 across 58. I mean, that's not a guy I think you want to face at this stage where he's due for a goal.
I hate when they're due.
Yeah.
I hate when they're due. And he's due.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Listen, we can tell ourselves these things. We kind of joke about it, but honestly, someone like that, he's due. He is due. It's not crazy.
No, I get you. I get you. What I'll add here is, again, I broadly agree with I think what Reese was saying earlier in terms of I don't see many goals in this game. If Phoenix Rising can find a way to get their heads in front, I think they'll be okay. Mm-hmm. But the issue is doing so, right? Again, this is a team that doesn't give up necessarily a whole lot of chances, right? They don't win many games, but that's because they can't score. Doesn't that sound familiar? They're not as good defensively as Rising have been. But and their goal scoring is worse than Rising has been. But by and large, they feel like right now they're in the same kind of mold, don't they? Just in that sense, it's a team that's going to rely on its defense to help carry them a bit and hope that they can get a goal at the upper end, even if they're really, really struggling for them.
And I don't know how Rising are going to be able to get a goal past Anthony Siaha, Monterey Bay's keeper, who delivered a couple of the best goalkeeping performances this season. I mean, what was it, 10 saves in the game earlier this season? Oh. One of the ESPN games against, it was one of their home games. He just delivered an just disgusting performance. I mean, compared to good kind. Good disgusting. Well, if he delivers it on Friday, it won't be a good disgusting, but yeah. I mean, so he's going to be a guy that's going to be tough to face, tough to break down. And for a team like Rising, who hasn't been the most clinical at any point this season, besides really that San Antonio match, I don't know how Rising are going to be able to find a goal. It's going to be a very fluky, dirty, ugly goal if it comes. Like I think it's going to be a boring 0-0 draw. I really do.
Fluky, dirty, ugly. Just like I like my soccer matches. Absolutely. There you go. Well, I mean, listen, guys.
I will say on that, sorry, just to bring in there that Carlos Herrera has obviously been starting in recent weeks. Yeah. So it's... Yeah. Look, I think as a team, they're...
He's been on the bench. So my bad.
I know. Yeah, well, they
my bad.
You don't like outstat lackey.
Catch up lackey. But no, I mean, they're a team that, again, it's not a whole lot of goals whatsoever, especially these last 6 games where they have scored a grand total of how many goals, Mr. Simpson?
Say it again.
6 games, how many goals?
What?
I mean, you can look at it on here.
1?
There's actually none, but...
Oh, yeah. Whoopsies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the wrong one.
They took a goal at the minute, I think. There's only so long that streaks like that tend to last, and it can go another week, and of course it can, but eventually someone's going to get a goal, you'd have thought.
Yeah. I mean, again, like this is... this kind of come across as negative, and for the, well, I would say relatively few, maybe, of those of us who watch us all the time who have some optimism. I mean, listen, it's
who has optimism at this point?
Maybe some people see the glass half full. I don't know. Listen, it's for those who do have any bit of hope or anything. I mean, right, again, on paper, which these games are not played, but if you look at everything on here, you look at how Rising has responded to when they play poorly and then they are facing a club who is just bad, right? Talking El Paso, talk about the second one against Tulsa. You're seeing these matchups where they come in, chip on their shoulder, and they are playing someone who is wounded. They have taken care of business. In everything you run, right? They should win this one. However, it does build up that pressure where they're at in the season, knowing that this is going to be their easiest of their remaining 5 that they have. You're playing someone who is second worst in the West, and you're at home. You don't have to worry about the rest kind of thing. You leave it all out there. You got to get it done. I mean, listen, I think this is a good time as any.
I mean, I was going to kick in with one last little bit where I was going to argue back a little bit with you in terms of how they play against teams that feel a bit wounded at times. Because I think there's only one of those teams they've ever really put away, and that's San Antonio. Yeah. Even in the other games where they've won, you've played Tulsa, you win 1-0. It's kind of fluky. But you look at some of the other games, North Carolina weren't doing that great. They drew that game. Mm-hmm. Hartford not doing great. They were completely out of that game for large stretches. In fact, that was one of the worst games I've watched all season, and it finished 0-0. El Paso. Away. They draw 1-1 in that game.
No, but
right?
they pass at
home.
I know, but again, you look at this team over the course of the season, they haven't always got it done in the games where you expect them to get it done. Even Orange County, you go back last week. Yes, it's away from home, right? But it's a 2-0 loss on the road against a team that are below you in the table. Okay? Man for man, Phoenix Rising is a better squad than Orange County are. They haven't always gotten it done in these games when you really need to. No, it's not going to be 20-0 Rising.
And Tomás Ángel scores all 20. Well, listen, the chat's already flooding in.
Score predictions.
Chat's already flooding in, right? Zanel in chat, 1-0. Phoenix Rising, Tomás Ángel bagging one. All right, Owen, what say you?
0-0.
Of course he is. Reese.
0-0.
0-0. He doesn't like it. I feel Kyle and I have been agreeing on a lot of the score lines. Kyle, here's what we're going to do, Kyle. I'm going to say 3-2-1, and right after 1, we're going to say our score line at the same time. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
1-0.
Let's go!
To who?
Phoenix Rising.
Rising.
Okay. Let's go. Who do you got scoring?
Margaritha, he's playing.
Margaritha.
Wait, Kyle, are you going to be there on Friday?
Wait, this is actually very important.
I will be there.
Okay. He will be there.
Yeah.
Mark it down. Everyone change your prediction.
1-0.
1-0 Rising. Devin on the chat, 1-0. Actually, don't know who it's Rising or not. We can't assume around here. You know what that makes you. Right. I have I got Remy Cabral scoring. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. 2-0 to Siley. Also, don't know who.
Here's what I'll say. I see Phoenix Rising winning far more than I see Monterey Bay winning.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the 0-0 to be contrary here because I know that you're going to go with the Rising win.
I already said
I know.
that.
I know. And that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm taking the 0-0.
Siley's saying not Rising. Whoever the other team is will probably win. Oh,
One way to look at it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Listen, man, it's we're gonna see what happens, and yeah, kind of go from there. But listen, on the other side of the break, kind of walk through some doomsday scenarios, if you will, go around the USL, some other context, some other stuff around the USL.
Gonna throw up that leave a like because Max looks like he's
outside of USL and just some stuff in the footballing world in general. But yeah, we'll come back to you guys right after the break. Oh yeah, cue the music because it's time for our friends at Valley Tap Room. Valley Tap Room.
Get the beers in.
Get the beers in.
Get the beers in.
It's a chill time with our friends at Valley Tap Room.
You might need it.
Yeah, you might need it.
Watching this team, you might need it.
If you're not able to, make it out because maybe it's packed, who knows? Maybe you're not able to find a seat or something. Just throwing it out there. But Valley Tap Room, you can go watch the game home and away at Gilbert and Queen Creek. And, we have experience, watching not just Rising matches there, but also all kinds of matches, right?
We watched when Spain said football. He's so tired of us bringing that one up.
Who'd they beat again?
What? England, didn't they? That's why they saved football.
Sure did. They sure did. Well, check out our friends over at Valley Tap Room, valleytaproom.com, and on socials at Valley Tap Room, right? Great place. Beers are great. 30 plus taps, fridges full of beer, wine slushies, little trivia night, all that great stuff. Always a great time. Check out Valley Tap Room. Again, Gilbert, Queen Creek, 2 locations. Be on the lookout for more content, more events. Also, make sure to become a diehard. Become a diehard. You want more? You want more content? You want more stuff? You want more hot dog helper challenges?
Nobody wants that one. Nobody wants that one.
You got to go on over to gophnx.com and come hang out with us, right? In the
Reese, do you want to do the hot dog thing again?
No.
We'll do it for the diehards.
Yeah,
Do you
do
want
it
to
for
do
the
it?
diehards. Which Reese's one? We got many in the chat who are diehards. Check out, becoming a diehard, right? You get a free shirt every year upon your membership, just like what I am repping with old Phoenix here. Kyle is repping, a little PHNX Suns
I got one
merch.
under here.
And you
so
got
make
enough
it a minute.
PHNX Suns
I
merch
do underneath, yeah.
as well. Yeah,
There we
show it. Yeah, take it off. All right. Well, you gotta watch.
That's disturbing.
You gotta watch on YouTube to see what I'm talking about. But yes, hop on in.
Since the D-backs are no hope anymore, and we're kind of turning to the Suns.
Yeah, we got the PHNX Rising kind of pseudo Premier League action going on in there, a little fantasy league. But yeah, check us out. Go phnx.com, become a diehard today. All right. Well, before we get into the possible USL Championship playoff doomsday scenario, let's take a look at that table if we have it, Mr. Producer Kyle. Again in the West. Again, just a refresher of where we're at. New Mexico on top with 57 points. Then you got 2 through 5 looking a little tight. 4 points separate Sacramento in second. Between Memphis in 5th, with Colorado Springs in 3rd, Vegas in 4th. Oakland is in that kind of weird spot in 6th on 40 points. Kind of seems like, right, could they stay there? You never know, but that's a good chance there. Then you got Rising in 7th. Orange County, 1 point below them. 35 points in 8th place. And then this gets where it gets really hairy. Tulsa in 9th, 2 points below Rising, 1 point below the playoff line. 34 points. San Antonio, 3 points behind them. That's the one where, right, you never know what happens, but it's slipping away a bit. But here's the thing. Monterey Bay, if they win, and it's a big if for a club that has not done so since early July, but if they win, they go up to 33 points, and they will be only 3 points behind Phoenix Rising. It is tight for everyone.
Point, the reality there is that Phoenix Rising is going to feel cooked like it was Max trying to do his baking. It's not in good shape.
Yes, it's that's why I don't do the baking.
That's why he doesn't do
baking.
But
but it's very tight, except for El Paso, who they're technically walking, but they're
propping up the table like they have all season long.
That's pretty much. They're almost.
Those guys are going to need some treatment on that back
they are
right
almost,
now because they've carried the entire league on their back for the entire year.
They are almost mathematically eliminated.
That's rough.
Almost there, but we like to have some fun when we're talking about the chaos. Listen,
fun.
What's
fun?
So here's a
what's fun, Max?
Here's a crazy scenario. Did you concoct this one?
Yes.
Okay, you did. Okay, I like this. We're gonna go through Reese's chaos doomsday scenario. Give a like for the chaos doomsday scenario, please. So here we go. Again, this is gonna talk through 4 clubs, right? Again, Oakland in 6th, Rising in 7th, Orange County in 8th, and Tulsa in 9th. We're gonna lay this out, right? So, and I'll let Reese explain, right? But again, to set the stage. Oakland on 40 points, Rising 4 points below them, Orange County 1 point below them, Tulsa 1 point below them. Now, Reese, did you, before we go these scenarios, right? It's going to walk through each club's remaining matches. Did you go through trying to create this doomsday scenario, or is this what is actually possible, do you think? How likely are these going to happen?
I think 2 sets. I think Rising set of fixtures is realistic and Orange Counties are. And the rest I don't think are realistic at all.
This is understandable.
What about Oakland there? I mean, they've been terrible. I mean,
Oakland's have been bad, yeah. That could be realistic. All right.
Yes, so here we go. So, all right, I'll have you break them down, but essentially...
Again, you know what? I'm looking at this. I don't even think Tulsa's that unrealistic.
Okay, well, listen, we gotta talk through the people.
Okay.
So again, essentially, this doomsday scenario is having all 4 of these clubs, again, Oakland, Rising, Orange County, and Tulsa, all ending the year on 41 points. First off, you're a crazy man, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot from you. So again,
thanks, Max.
Yes, of course, buddy. So Oakland, they have, again, each of these clubs are going to get to 41 points through this doomsday scenario. Oakland are currently on 40. Doing the math there, they're going to pick up 1 point from their remaining 4 matches. Reese, out of Memphis away, Phoenix at home, Vegas away, and Birmingham at home to end the season. You have Oakland picking up 1 point against Rising when they're at home.
All right, I do want to be clear. These aren't my predictions. It's just a possible scenario. But I do think this one is a little realistic. Memphis is a good team, so I could see Memphis winning that one. Memphis would be the home team against Oakland this weekend. Phoenix draw on the road, that could be possible. We'll see how Rising looks by the end of this weekend. Loss away to Vegas, that's probably the most realistic result with how Vegas look in the moment.
Sense.
And then Birmingham Legion, it's an Eastern Conference matchup to end the season for Oakland. That one could be tough. It's at home, and then Birmingham would need to win that with how this one looks. I don't see Birmingham winning that. I think if Oakland drops points, it would be a draw, which there is another scenario that Oakland could pick up 2 points, but that's probably not realistic because Rising would need to pick up 6 points, which seems very difficult at this point. But we'll see.
Yeah, and right, kind of what you put in here. I mean, you even caveated with it. This is, definitely. You're telling me Oakland's going to pick up 1 point from the 4 matches. It could happen. This is probably
with how Oakland look.
And that's totally fair. In my eyes, this is probably the least likely out of the scenarios we'll walk through to happen verbatim. But again, this is not predictions. This is for the chaos. So yes, Jet, Oakland has been in poor form. I will say that. Yes. All right. So Risings, right? Again, Oakland starting on 40 points. They're going to pick up 1 point, end the year on 41 points. Phoenix Rising, right? 36 points. They're going to end the year on 41 points. 5 points to end the year. Now, we will say we've kind of walked through these, and these actually, right, we've kind of gone match through match. This actually seems pretty plausible. Monterey Bay at home, again, the next one, picking up all 3 points, even though you predicted a draw, a 0-0 draw.
But Kyle's coming.
So it's going to be a win. No, it's not even a we'll see. It's going to be a win. And then if not, then we're going to have some questions for Kyle. Has some explaining to do. But so Monterey Bay, you pick up the win at home, all 3 points. New Mexico away, no points. Okay, that's a loss. Oakland away. This is the interesting one because, again, as you mentioned, right, Oakland, as we just discussed, they're not doing well. It is away. A 1 point there seems pretty fair. This is to me might be the most volatile of all of them. Memphis at home in the penultimate game, fan appreciation night, Panos Amarnaka's revenge game. You have them picking up 1 point. It's a draw.
Well, I mean, it was
in the doomsday scenario.
It was either that or give them a draw away to Louisville. Honestly, that second draw could come away to New Mexico. I feel like that's probably the more realistic one. But I thought for chaos, for going all out chaos, the draw has to be to Memphis.
And then you play that last match away to Louisville. You need to win, do something to help with security. It does not. And you pick up 5 points from your last 5 matches to finish on 41 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chaos.
Oh, that is chaos.
We're only halfway through.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about chaos. Orange counties. I'm looking at this as well. This isn't super crazy either. So, I mean, there's a couple, maybe flip, but right. So Orange County, 35 points. Again, they got to end with 41, 6 points to end the year. Could have gone some draws, some wins. He went with 2 wins. So Vegas away, 0 points, lost there. Switchbacks at home for Orange County, lost there. El Paso away, 3 points. Listen, you're traveling away. That's got to be a win for anyway. You see El Paso on your schedule.
Yeah.
You're licking your lips. You're ready.
Yeah.
New Mexico at home, loss, totally fair. And then Hartford at home to end the year, 3 points. I like that. That seems all pretty realistic. Switchbacks at home, just tough.
Could be a draw.
Could be a draw. The
way switchbacks have looked recently, I think switchbacks pick up the win there. But still, we'll see.
I mean, again, not super crazy. Again, starting with 35 points, ending with 41. They pick up 6 in between. So again, you have 4. Yep. You have 3 teams now, 41 points. Then you got Tulsa. They got a lot of ground to make up. They start at 34 points. Got to end at 41 points. How are they going to do that? 7 points to pick up the year. So you got them winning at home against El Paso.
Yeah.
For their sake, they got to. North Carolina away. Got them picking up a point. I could also see that as a win, but a point. Fair.
Yeah. Or a loss. I mean, that could go either way.
That point could go anywhere from those 3.
Tulsa's kind of middle of the country, but fair. New Mexico at home, a loss. Totally fair there. Hartford at home, you have them as a loss.
Yeah, I mean, that one could be a draw either. I think the draw could flip between North Carolina or Hartford. But, I mean, the way what Hartford's going to be playing for in that match, they'll also be playing for their playoff lives. So I figured that one was probably the more realistic Tulsa loss, but still up for grabs. And then Tulsa would have to end the season at home to Monterey Bay with 3 points to have 4 teams tied on 41. Should we email the league office now to find out what the tiebreakers are?
I can tell you what it would be. So the way that this would finish, you form a mini table effectively between the 4 teams. And in that case, Oakland finishes on top, followed by Phoenix, followed by OC, followed by Tulsa.
Wait.
If it's 4 teams...
4 teams, yeah. Let me see.
Something's wrong with his calculations here, clearly.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Well, this is awkward. Although
you may be right here. I may have gotten it wrong. I just did it during the show. But either way, Rising and Oakland go through.
Keep in mind, by the way, for these 4 teams, in theory, right, if we're assuming that they're like no one else, leapfrogs or something dramatic, 4 teams, 3 playoff spots within these. So that is the caveat. There will be an odd man out.
I think it's Tulsa, the odd man out. And I think Rising would be top of the mini table.
And that's the crazy thing is, again, like you look at that, and yes, you see Tulsa odd man out, which again, fair, because they are outside looking in right now. But again, only 2 points behind Rising, only 1 point behind Orange County. And you look at some of their matchups. Yes, New Mexico is a tough one, but right, you got some that could be pretty volatile and hopefully in their favor. Hartford home could go either way. Monterey Bay, maybe if they absolutely catch fire, could they be kicking? Sure, but more than likely out by that picture. North Carolina away could go either way. El Paso at home. There's a lot of these that are like they could fall into their favor. I mean, that's the thing. You're seeing a lot of these matches. Actually, I'm actually looking at all of these. Oakland finishes 2 away, 2 matches at home. Rising finishes with 3 games away, 2 at home. Orange County finishes with 2 away, 3 at home. And Tulsa finishes with 1 game away, 4 at home. Phoenix Rising has the most proportionate away games to end the season than any of these. And again, I'm going to state the obvious. If you've been watching any of this, not only do Phoenix Risings have poor results away from home, but their performance, which already kind of has a low bar at home, it is even worse on the road. So buckle up. Buckle up, folks.
All right. Should we look at the fixtures just in general this weekend?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Rising kicking off the weekend. They're hosting Monterey Bay, obviously, on Friday. There's a large Saturday slate there. Charleston, Detroit, Hartford, Loudoun out east, Indy against Louisville, Miami playing Pittsburgh,
that's gonna be
Rhode Island,
classic.
Tampa Bay, loads of East Coast. Yeah,
No mess.
the Miami-Pittsburgh game is going to be utterly dire, I expect. Memphis hosting Oakland. Can Oakland start to turn things around? Can Memphis resurrect their home playoff hopes? Tulsa facing El Paso. They need to win that realistically to keep pace with the teams above them in the playoff hunt. San Antonio playing Sacramento. Is this plausibly the week where San Antonio have to accept that they're out of the race? Las Vegas Lights, they'll be playing Orange County again. Orange County with a win or a point on the road here would do their playoff hopes wonders. This isn't probably a game that we expect them to win, but we'll have to wait and see if they can get something. And then an East Coast game on Sunday, the only Sunday game, Birmingham Legion against North Carolina FC.
Yeah. Oh, it's a full slate.
It's a lot.
It is an absolute full slate.
There's lots to happen this weekend.
Yep.
Goodness. Devin on the chat talking about Memphis coming to town. Panos ring. Appreciating him.
He's already got his ring, I think, hasn't he? Like,
he does.
He does.
From what I gather, he already has it.
Yes. Yeah, he does already have the ring. Some other news. We still appreciate this. Let's talk some U.S. men's national team little October training camp roster with
I don't see any Wrexham players in there.
Mauricio Pochettino.
I do see a Cardiff player in there.
Well,
the first player listed in the entire squad.
Ethan Horvath is tough. All right,
He's not playing for us either, so I mean.
Well, listen, we got a lot of U.S. men's national team fans in the chat. Let's kind of run through again. Ethan Horvath, Patrick Schulte, Zach Steffen, and Matt Turner. Listen, this is the first time in a while where I feel the goalkeepers, which usually has been a strength for the U.S. men's national team, has been poor.
I mean, I don't get calling up Zach Steffen in the year 2024.
Sorry, DNVR Rockies.
2024, we're calling up Zach
Rapids.
Steffen.
Rockies.
Even worse. even our DNVR Rapids podcast. Sorry, gents.
We'll just tweet this at the Rockies podcast
Yeah.
now. We're
Come
gonna
on,
start. You know
Max.
what? Forget the tier 4 with PIDs. We're starting a war with the NVR Rockies
okay
for
with
no apparent reason.
I'm okay with it. They won't get the context. They don't need it.
There we go. Max says it's time.
So out of those, right? I mean, who do you?
Give me Gaga in there instead of Steffen.
I don't disagree, but like, who
I
do you?
want Gaga.
Is there anyone you're most excited for out of those?
Schulte. I really like Schulte.
I agree. He's playing hot. I mean, Horvath, you know what you're getting. Like, I think he's not a bad goalkeeper, but it's kind of like here's the thing. I think that we have that CONCACAF Champions League final so high up in what we're Nations League Cup.
Yeah.
We have his substitute performance in there in such high regard that I think you kind of look overall and it's like, he's not bad. He's relatively average and some points below average, but like, I think we hold that in such high regard and his aura at that.
Yeah, it's gonna get him call-ups until he retires.
You're darn right. You got the defenders.
It's all right. I've tweeted at the NVR Rockies now. So
Why'd you tag me?
because you just declared war on
You
them,
didn't
man.
do that.
You did.
Okay.
You did that.
I accidentally. Anyway, I also said no offense. No, I didn't. That's the definition of not trying to start a war.
You
Kyle,
declared war on them.
No, Kyle, stop typing in the chat. Defenders, we got Mar.
CPH and Experts agrees with me.
Okay, that's just Kyle.
Yeah.
Defenders got Marlon.
It's not just Kyle.
Okay,
That's producer Kyle to you.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's fine. Defenders got Marlon Fossey, Christopher Lund, Mark McKenzie, Tim Ream, Antonio Robinson, Jedi Robinson, Miles Robinson, Joe Scally, and Austin Trusty. A lot of injuries
We're
here.
still only the defenders. Gosh, Max, get some.
What?
Crank it up. We're running out of time.
No, we're not.
We are.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I guess we're Tim Ream doing things, a lot of guys, MLS, and also just a lot of names that, a lot of people who've been following throughout the years will not recognize. Midfielders, Brendan Aronson continues to, he must have dirt on
I
someone.
don't know how he's
He
getting
has
a
dirt on
call-up, but
someone.
yeah.
Gianluca Busio, Johnny Cardoso, Will,
Future
honestly,
Tottenham
probably, I was going to
legend.
say future Spurs player. I don't know how I feel about that. Weston
Yeah.
McKennie, Ada Morris, Yunus Musa, and Malik Tillman. Wes McKinney, right? Guys who have been, Yunus Musa, kind of know what you're getting, although Musa's been very poor. Very poor.
McKennie looked good today in UCL.
McKennie looks
really
great.
good
I thought
today.
he was
Yeah.
done,
I thought he was
I thought he
cooked.
was- I thought he was cooked.
I thought he was, yeah.
and he's looking great. And then forwards, you got Lauren Balogun, Ricardo Pepe, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, Timothy Weah, and Haji Wright.
Yeah.
And Timothy Weah, thank you again for starting this all. We're on the Potch train. We appreciate you. You know what you did. Good man. And yeah, with that, the Potch era will officially begin.
Hopefully Pepe can score a goal and his curse from me
Can
can
we
be
talk
lifted,
about
but-
Nicholas Murray's piece from today?
Oh, yeah. We do got to get to that,
Yes,
don't we?
Yeah, the bit where he's talking about how Nick Marcanic should be called up.
Oh, we were going to say, yes. Nick Marcanic. Listen, great scorer on the championship level. But
Can I give you one
Yes.
one word?
Yes.
here?
How many here?
No.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it said that the Spanish second division is on the same level as the English championship. I don't know what to say there except
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's respectfully, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, I understand the guys are getting call ups and everything from second division in other countries and leagues. A little bit different around these parts. I like the ambition though. And hey, we saw people scoring in the Champions League. They used to play in MLS and whatnot. Owen loves MLS, right?
Carry on.
Yep. Yeah. What to say? There's always so much going on. Little Europa. Come on,
You've
Spurs.
started
Come on.
beef online now with DMVR Rockies,
Yeah,
Max.
I deny
That's
it.
what's
Shame
going
on you,
on.
Max.
You're starting beef with DMVR Rockies. What
did-
did the Rockies do to you?
Oh, did I?
Other than
mean,
take 2 out of 3 games in
yeah,
that
oh, did
recent
I?
series
Oh, did I?
to cost us
Oh,
a place
did
in the
I?
playoffs. But
Oh, this is gonna be very
no,
awkward.
see, Max tries to intervene with stuff like deleting tweets. He's a bad guy.
They'll never
He's a
know.
bad person. One of these
Screenshot
days,
didn't
we're going to have
happen.
to change the Twitter
Wait, no,
password
don't
and lock him
screenshot.
out.
Don't screenshot. I'll
Um,
believe it now. Yeah, let's see. But yeah, okay, you got some FC Porto and Man U. Who wins that? That's
Porto 3-0.
Wow.
Hmm.
I was close in my Celtic prediction from Monday. I said 5-0. It was
7-1.
7-1. I mean, Celtics not very good. Neither
Hold on a minute.
Rangers.
Hold on a minute.
Scottish
Here's the
football.
here's
at
the
end of
real
day,
one,
isn't it?
right? No.
Chelsea and Ghent. That's for the real people in the conference league.
That's actually a difficult match
It
in
is.
conference league. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean difficult, but
I mean,
less easy.
Do we dare do a very quick just work out what the parlay would be? I just want to know for
with
odds
our friends at
purposes.
Bet365.
Indeed.
TNS plays tomorrow.
Yeah, TNS.
My
dude.
favorite Welsh team.
But I'm just gonna pull some utterly random games that just look quite amusing to me as we go through. And Max, I'm gonna need you to give me your prediction. We'll start with Maccabi Tel Aviv against Midtjylland.
So it's looking like essentially a toss-up?
Well, no. The Danish away side there are the favourites in this game, but they're all.
Make it a draw.
You're going with a draw. So in that one, if you go with a draw, the odds are 250. All right. If we move on to our next one, which one am I going to pick?
Oh, we're doing
next?
some random fun ones, yeah.
I am. It's
I'm not
the
giving up
Europa
the
League.
odds. Not
It's
giving up
fun.
the odds. Just
Slavia
vibes.
Prague or Ajax?
Ooh, this is an easy one. Don't even think about it.
Slavia
Prague.
Prague are actually
Yeah.
favourites, so
Let's
yeah,
go.
there you go.
Kind of stink now.
Also, I know this club. I studied abroad in Prague for a month. Let's go.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Besiktas from
Ooh,
Turkey
yes.
or Eintracht Frankfurt.
That's a juicy one. I'm actually very intrigued by that. Oh gosh, Besiktas.
Going with Besiktas.
I really could see that going in any of the three directions.
We're going to keep going now. FC Twente or Fenerbahce? Sticking with the Turkish theme here.
Are we gonna have Jose Mourinho? Yeah, give me Fenerbahce.
Jose.
Yeah,
Fenerbahce?
Especially-
Okay.
Can't go
Right,
just
we've
one
done
at a time.
4 so far.
One more.
We need a Conference League game then, because these were all Europa
Bet
League.
on Chelsea.
No, we're not going with Chelsea.
I
We're not
wouldn't
going
bet
with
on
Chelsea. I'm picking a fun one in here.
Uh-oh.
We need a fun one that's just dumb somewhere.
I love
Let's
that.
see. I don't even know who these guys are, but the first team just says Noah, and the second team says Mlada Boleslav.
Yeah.
What?
Give me Noah.
Mlada Boleslav.
Yeah. Or no, let's go
going
with the
for
draw.
them?
Let's go with draw.
You're going
We'll
draw.
go draw.
So Max, if you were to put $10 on this 5-leg parlay, it would give you over about 1,367.
I'll put it.
So if Max puts $10
Don't
on
say
that
it.
parlay,
This is not, no,
he gives away
He loses
$10.
$10
Yeah.
on that parlay.
no, you may not. You may not.
This is true.
This is
I'm gonna.
Max
I think I
Simpson
might go an
betting.
octopus route tomorrow.
Oh,
Little Europa League
Octopus
action.
for the Europa League?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, let's go
Just
crazy.
scores.
Charitable.
Let's go crazy. I'm just a nice guy. What can I say?
You are.
But yeah,
You're a
Euro-
weird guy,
Euro-
Max, but we
Europa
love you
League,
regardless.
Feeling is kind of neutral. All right. Well, got a lot of good stuff going on. A little Champions League happened today as well. A couple of notable results, right? And I really do not like saying it, but yeah, Villa. Oh gosh, Villa.
I hit my microphone.
Villa
man.
1-0. Very impressive win against Bayern. Right. Emi Martinez, he's very good. He's very good. I really don't like it.
Kevin in there with his barely a podcast at all.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast.
This is a very serious podcast.
It's the PHX Wrexham podcast. Yes, sir.
No, it is not.
Benfica
They lost
4-0 with a
yesterday.
thrashing.
Yeah,
A thrashing
that was
against Atletico. That's
Ugly.
crazy. Dinamo Zagreb 2-2 all against Monaco. Here's the big one though, the headliner. Lille. Knocking
Yeah.
off Champions League winning giants Real Madrid.
Jonathan David
snapping their
penalty.
27-game winning streak in the Champions League or something.
Disgusting.
We need to clip that. That's good.
Yeah, it's a little sinister.
Yeah, I know,
He's
it's
had a
really
lot of
good.
sinister laughs.
That's really good.
We'll clip that
let's
ready
clip
for
Kyle,
when
let's
like
clip that.
teams
Let's
that we
take a
don't
time-
like
take a
get
time
knocked
code.
out of
I want that.
competitions.
That's the first thing I want.
That's fine.
I don't
No, we want
need
to
any
the
context.
declaration of war on DMVR Rockies first.
Well, that too.
Then we'll get the laugh. That's fine.
Yeah, but the laugh is easier to clip because I'm just going to put in the time code of ha 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 and the ha, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
Perfect.
Let's see. Again, Lil over Real, Ethan over Killian. Oh boy. There we go. Well, I think that's plenty of nonsense.
That's fine.
And for something that is barely a pod, which fair, Kevin. But we appreciate you and everyone else joining us here on the PHNX Rising podcast. Of course, as always, you can follow at almost licked your finger PHNX
That'd be weird.
__rising because double the underscore.
Double the Wrexham wins.
Let's
No,
go!
they lost. They lost.
You don't know that.
No, they did. They
You're
lost.
still
to
second in the
Stevenage.
table.
Still second in the table.
Does everyone else have a game in hand?
pretty
What a
much,
top
but
Welsh club looks
doesn't
like. You
matter.
can follow me on Twitter.
Top Welsh club's TNS. Let's be real now.
No, it's not.
How many Welsh
They don't
leagues?
even play in Wales.
That's why.
You can follow me on Twitter at Max David Simpson. You can follow Owen on Twitter at OJ Evans 18. You can follow Stylacky Reese, the Hot Dog Helper. Actually, scroll up real quick, Kyle, like to the very, very top. Like
God.
there was
Nope.
No. Hold on.
Just
Keep
that-
a little lower.
just hit the end button,
Little lower,
Kyle.
little lower, little lower, little lower.
Don't-
little lower.
don't give in
Keep
to
going.
peer
We're looking
pressure,
for Zanelle's,
Kyle.
There's Zanelle's chat. Keep going. Keep going.
Calvin, come to a game.
Keep
That's
going,
what
keep
I
going,
say.
keep going,
U
keep
of
going.
A.
We're going to Slim Glizzy himself.
That's
Reese
really
11 underscore.
All right, I feel like we need to put the line somewhere. It's a little before that nickname, I can tell you
That's
that.
fair. Duly noted. That's fair.
All
That's
right,
fair.
Slim
And
Glizzy.
And you,
Nope.
I will not. You can't control him. And you can follow.
Can't control the oracle.
You don't know. You can follow Mr. Producer Kyle behind the Mac, pushing the buttons, and guaranteeing victory because he will be there on Friday at
Will you
Cape
be there,
Coop
Max?
Sports. It is a beautiful game, but it is way more beautiful when you guys join us for the nonsense and hopefully Phoenix Rising do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.